I'm so proud of him. I was proud of him when he actually made the decision to come work here when he was 18 years old. He just really wanted to help out the law enforcement, and he would stand by and talk to us about everything about law enforcement. And then when he came of age, that's when he came over and said, hey, I want to be a police officer. We taught him what community policing was about from the law enforcement perspective, but Greg Gomes is already a community-minded person. That's the value in him that I feel so great to have him as the new assistant chief here at the city of North Charleston. You want like-minded people around you, because if you have a like-minded person, then if you're not there to carry out the mission, Greg understands what the mission is, and he's going to carry it out. And the way I look at Greg, and he's assistant chief now, and that's a great accomplishment, an awesome accomplishment on his part, is that I see a young man that I met in North Charleston High School when I became the first school resource officer there. He's a grinder. He's a guy that's always willing to learn. He's always willing to learn something. He's compassionate, but the one thing that I would say that separates Greg Gomes from a lot of people that I've met in my life is that Greg is dedicated to the city of North Charleston. Greg Gomes is not a person to say, oh, I'm from North Charleston. You know, Greg Gomes live North Charleston.
Some things in law enforcement you learn, some come natural, and with him and Chief Burgess, a lot of it's natural, and part of that is the ability to deal with the public and have respect for the public and love the area in which they work. And I think that's one of the greatest attributes that both of them have. To me, it makes me proud that we've been able to develop people within the department to take over, because you can have police savvy, but the love of the area in which you're working is something that you develop over the years as being a part of it. And I think that that's going to pay off for us in the years to come between our chief and our assistant chief.
Just a guy that's born and raised right here in North Charleston, and you know, over the years through recreation and just growing up here, I've grown to love this area. You know what I'm about. I'm really just a hometown guy who has been fortunate enough to work for this great city and this police department. You know, I'm given this new opportunity. I think it was something I wanted to do from a very early age. You know, I saw a need in our community, and I saw through watching other police officers who were my baseball coaches and t-ball coaches growing up, I saw the difference that they made, and I envied what they did, and so I've tried to take a lot of what I saw through them when I was young, and I've kind of built on that, and I've been fortunate enough to watch a lot of really good police officers through the years, and so I think if I had to describe myself as a police officer, I'm just someone that really wants to help our community solve problems that our citizens have, and by doing that, make our communities safer. I'm still just the same kid working at the radio shop. You know, I've tried to take that same attitude, and as I've moved through the ranks, I just try to use my position to help other police officers achieve what, you know, their aspirations, all while making our community safer, building relationships with the community, because really at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, the relationships that we build. The most effective policing is through relationships with the community. If you have the relationship with the community, everything else will kind of fall in place. Well, this is home. I mean, I think there's so many people in this community that I have personal relationships with. So it's not a 9-to-5 job, if you will. This is something that I'm deeply passionate about, because we have an amazing community. We have an amazing city that's doing so many great things, and obviously policing and the role that the police department plays is a core function in making this city go. So I think it impacts so many different areas. There's so many people in this city that rely on the services that we provide that it can't be done in an 8-hour day. Sometimes it's a 12-hour day, sometimes a 16-hour day. And I think, you know, not only me, we've got an agency full of people willing to do whatever it takes. And I've just always had that drive because it's such a personal connection with me.